First Man. You know the drill. A college kid is imbued with great power and likes it. Penumbra has other plans, and Hand delivers him to Monarch, a fun 64-page action-packed comic book harkening back to the glory days of Marvel Comics, only on Indiegogo.
Well, hello, good afternoon. Tuesday afternoon? Yeah, I can't believe yesterday was Monday, and I'm sitting here going, is it Tuesday? Yes, it is Tuesday. I just figured I'd pop on. I got this sketch cover to finish up. Let me share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about for those of you that haven't seen it yet. Whoa, what is that all about? Hold on here. I don't know why it's flickering like that. That's weird. Okay, I think it's not doing that anymore. So let me see. There it is. So I was working on this, and I figured, you know what? I'll pop on here real quick and do a little sketching. I still got this figure right here, who's Martian Manhunter, to finish. So I thought you guys could join me if you'd like while I finish. Yeah, I have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Of course, I'm going to lose myself on this because nobody cares about seeing my face. And when I look up at the screen, I don't really want to see my face either. My face. I don't want to be kicked in the face. That was from a very funny movie that came out last year. My memory's awful, or I would tell you the name of the movie. What was the name of that movie? I do not remember. Oh well. Just like to tease people, I guess. So let's go here to this full screen layout. One more thing before I start drawing. I found that on the StreamYard, I can't see some Facebook comments. So I open up Facebook too, so I can go back and forth and see if anybody comments there. But if you're on YouTube, I can definitely see you there. Anyhow, all right, enough of that. I'm just going to draw. I'd play some music, but the last time I did that, I got flagged because it's not my music. So no music today. That's the right size pencil. Should make it a little bigger. There we go. So like I said, this is Martian Manhunter. I'm drawing. Here, flying up. This is Justice League No Justice sketch cover. And I haven't drawn Justice League Europe characters in a long time. Little known fact, when I did sample pages to try and get into the business a long time ago, when I was at the Kubert School, I drew sample pages with Justice League Europe. So it's a little known trivia fact there. Martian Manhunter is a big dude. He's got big muscles. So Cobra Kai Season 3 came out on New Year's Day, and by the third day of the new year, I was done watching all 10 episodes. That's how I roll. I was like, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try and parse this out, make it last, because God knows it'll be probably a year before we see Season 4. And I couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. I had to binge it all. So, and I did. I tell you, Johnny, favorite character. Love Johnny. Didn't like him in the Karate Kid movies for obvious reasons. I was in high school at that time. I felt like the Ralph Macchio character, getting bullied and stuff. That's right. I was getting bullied. I can admit it. I was a little bit of the N-word, a little bit of a nerd in high school. I know it's hard to believe. I mean, you look at me now and you're like, whoa. You mean somebody like you was a nerd? Oh yeah, I was. Hard to believe, but yes, Yes, I was. I'm trying to get my cursor over here. All right, let me get back to the old scribbling. I don't know why, but I always like to draw the center line down when I work on something like this. It just kind of grounds me some. Martian Manhunter's got these big guns. He's a big boy. I would say I'm a little biased, but my favorite artist for drawing the Justice League Europe characters was Bart, my buddy Bart. He was my favorite artist. I liked the way he drew Metamorpho really big and the texture he gave his body. And I like how he did Martian Manhunter with that really big brow. So I'll be giving him a brow that big as well once I get to that stage. Working on a little fist of fury right here. He's got fists of fury. Yeah, this is the funnest part of the drawing for me, is doing this stuff. Once I get this stage done, I got to admit, it turns into a little bit of a job. Don't get me wrong. I'll take this job over a flipping burger job any day of the week, but it does turn into a little bit of a job for me once I get this stage done. Yesterday, being the first Monday back to work in the new year, was my first day actually back to the desk, and it sucked. It blew. I think I forgot how to draw, is what my takeaway was when I got back to the desk yesterday, because nothing was coming out right. I redrew this one figure. I drew it small. I was working on a page of First Man. My campaign, First Man, by the way, if you haven't backed it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You need to get on it. You don't want to be the one that's left out in the dark. So anyhow, I was working on a page of First Man, drawing Penumbra, big figure of her going up like the left-hand side of the page, and I can't show it because I don't want to give anything away, but it was a big full figure of her, and whew, I had some rust to shake off after not drawing pretty much over the holiday break. Not drawing a lot, I should say. I drew some, but I find I get rusty kind of quick if I'm not doing it on a daily basis. Had fun over the holidays, though. Had fun with the family. Went down to South Carolina, visited a few comic shops. What's up, Gus? Thanks for joining. Thanks for saying hey. Because you did, I'm going to show the world. Gus says hi there. Well, Heidi Ho, back to you. I don't know where I got the Heidi Ho from, but I say it a lot. Heidi Ho. I do a podcast with my buddy Dennis Turner, and we start the podcast off, and it's always Heidi Ho. Welcome to the Dennis and Andy Show. And I tell you, growing up as a kid, learning to draw, I would love to have been able to just pop on a thing called a computer which not many people had back then, and watch professional artists draw. The only time I could do that was when I went to a convention. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo from South Park, maybe? He say hidey ho. Darn it! That is not where I got it from. Hey, Tony, are there any figure drawing books you can recommend? Yeah, Commander 64. This is true. Roger, definitely couldn't view anyone on a Commander 64. Ain't that the truth? I didn't even have one of those. I didn't have my first computer until I was married in like 1995. Anyhow, back to the question. Any figure drawing books? For real figure drawing, I would say Andrew Loomis is fantastic. His figure work is phenomenal. Bern Hogarth is phenomenal when it comes to figure structure and drawing. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought he was great. George Bridgman is really good. Ray Dog, Smitty D, what up, my Eurocentric brother? Ray Dog, trying to get it over here. Ray Dog is a good buddy of mine, Billy Ray. We shared a studio together way back in the early 90s in Orlando, Florida. Good to hear from you, Ray Dog. I think he was the one that coined the name Smitty D for me, if I remember right. Anyhow, for cartooning books, I'd say Jack Ham. Jack, last name Ham, Hamm, has a great book on figure drawing. I'd say, obviously, my book, Drawing Dynamic Comics, and the follow-up, Drawing American Manga Superheroes, just because it shows two different approaches to figure drawing. And then, of course, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. I mean, look, come on, classic. Ray Dog, you still down in Orlando, brother? And yes, guilty as charged. He was the one that came up with my name, Smitty D. What do we call Beatty? John Beatty. I know he had a name too. Just don't remember what we called him now. And of course, remember, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. I got no problem saying that once I get to 1,000, which I'm only a tenth of the way there, but once I get to 1,000, I believe I can start trying to monetize it. And I'm a little bit of a whore, so I'm all down for monetizing my YouTube channel when I get to that magic number, so I can make 50 cents off it a month, maybe make a little gas money. It's not like I'm gonna get rich off of it, but hey, if I can monetize it, I will. Smooth Johnny B. That's what we call John Beatty. So Billy Ray, who is Ray Dog, nicknamed me Smitty D, and John Beatty, yep, the inker John Beatty was Smooth Johnny B. And I remember there's another friend of ours that's a professional that worked in comics. He doesn't work in comics anymore, but His name's Brad Venkata, and I know what we used to call him. I want to see if Billy Ray remembers. So you type it in the window, Billy Ray, and I'll tell you if you're right. Look at me drawing the foot back here for no reason. It's not like you're going to see it. But that's how anal retentive I am. Come on, Ray Dog, you're not answering. You don't remember? Dude, I'm going to type it in the window so you can see it. We used to call Brad Venkata oh no, what'd I do? B Love, dude. Brad Venkata was B Love. I can't believe you don't remember that. You're hurting me, brother. You're hurting me. Brad was B Love. You were, of course, Billy Ray. Ray Dog. I was Smitty D, and Brad was B Love. And then there's John Beatty, Smooth Johnny B. In the house. Got to get his calf muscle just right. Let's see what he looks like here. Oh, yeah. It's the mighty Justice League Europe, led by Captain Atom. His name is Captain Atom. He's the captain. Captain Atom. Yes, I'm not a songwriter. If I was, that Captain Atom song wouldn't have sounded so lame. But I'm not. All right, let me do his head. Then I got to get some costume reference for him, because I do not remember the costumes off the top of my head for these guys, except for Captain Atom. He's easy. So I asked earlier, but now that I have people watching, who's into Cobra Kai? Got any Cobra Kai people here besides myself? Cobra Kai, Johnny Lawrence. Head's tilted back, so his ears are lower. That's what happens when you tilt your head back. Your ears get a little bit lower. He's got a big neck. big manly Adam's apple. Even though he's the Martian Manhunter. Tony has a good question. Tony asking, in your opinion, what's better? Accurate but stiff figure work or stylized but more expressive work? I say stylized, more expressive all the time. All the time. I would definitely say stylized but more expressive. Definitely all the time. In fact, there are instances where I wish I wasn't so OCD, anal retentive about things, and I could just loosen up and let it fly more. So expressive all the time. I love cartoony type stuff. I love realistic stuff. Hey, William, how's it going, man? Here's a great question I get a lot. CB4 Public Enemy Steel says, hello, did you learn from Bart Sears? Learn from him? Yes. Yes, I did. Bart was I'll sum it up quicker than I usually do. I went to the Kubert School, and in my senior year at the Kubert School, which was the fall of 1990 to I graduated in 91, the spring or summer of 91, and Bart was was a teacher there. And long story short, I barged into his classroom and said, Mr. Sears, I want you to look at my work. And he did, and he liked it, and he taught me. He mentored me privately because I didn't actually have him as a teacher. And so he mentored me on the side after school and stuff. And, I can owe a lot of what I do to him. I'm doing good, William. Thanks for asking. Just hanging in there. Hanging in there like we all are. It's only the 5th day of the new year. So far, so good. Here we go. Looking up at Martian Manhunter. CB4 Public Enemy Steel says, that is cool. Yeah. I'm one of the guys I look at like this. You see a lot of guys in the business, and you can definitely look at their work and be like, oh, he's influenced by this guy. Oh, he's influenced by this guy. And then you might talk to the people and find out, for instance, oh, wow, you never met this artist before. You just like his work that much that, you were just really heavily influenced in looking at it to help you when you're learning to draw. Whereas Whereas me, it's different because when I was learning to draw and when I was at the Kubert School as a student, I would show my work to Bart, and it wasn't me like saying, "Oh, I want to draw like Bart. Let me copy what he does." It was more along the lines of he would take tracing paper and put it over my work and, say, "Oh, this is a little messed up. Try doing it this way." And because of that, I just have a certain way I do things, and it was formed from watching him correct my stuff. So there's that. And, one of the other things I realized too, we hit it off, obviously. If we didn't hit it off and become friends, I don't think he would have helped me out as much as he did. So we had a lot in common in regards to the artists we liked in comics and outside of comics and stuff as well. That is very cool that you have our How to Draw books. That's awesome. Love reading that. Thank you very much for getting them and getting mine. I see the influence, but I tell both your work apart easily. Yeah, I mean, as I've gotten older and grown, I have other influences as well, and I look at different things and I take in information differently as everybody does and process information. We all process information differently. So you're not going to be a carbon copy. And, there are other artists I like that he might not, that I pick up things from, and vice versa. So. All right, now I got to get some costume reference for Martian Manhunter. So let me go to the Google machine. What costume do I want to draw? I'm going to go for the classic. Good old classic costume. That's a buff looking Martian Manhunter, but this is the costume I'm going to do. So this is one thing I like about working digitally, is my reference is easy to see because I can just find it, paste it. It's on a separate layer, so when I'm done with it, I can dump it. But until I'm done with it, I can look at it for the costume reference. What's up, Rankabot? It's like I just talked to you last night or something. So William has a question. Let's see. Do you sketch covers digitally, then do it traditionally? Asking because I'm going to start drawing more and doing some sketch covers. Yes. For most of the sketch covers I do, now that they're printed on good cardstock paper, I scan the cover in so I have it, accurate size, and then I draw on it. Then I'll print this out. And because there's nothing generally printed on the back of most sketch covers these days, I can light box it off. So I've seen people, friends of mine, have these portable light boxes they take to conventions. Just don't know if I want to go to that extent at a convention of light boxing stuff. And conventions, what the hell are those? What's a convention? That thing they had in 2020 or 2019, conventions. Once again, this is my my OCD kicking in. Got to do his little belt buckle just right. Oh, I just realized I just drew all that junk on the layer with the Manhunter. Darn it. Easy fix. Yeah, I mean, Chris says the flat light boxes are so great nowadays. And I mean, yeah, like I said, a friend of mine, Daryl Banks, who used to draw Green Lantern and be a DC mainstay, the last convention I saw him at was Heroes Con in 2019. And he had a light box and it was super thin and it plugged into a USB. So he would just bring a battery charger for like a phone and plug the light box into that. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a thin one too. I've got a Copic one that's pretty thin. It's not as small though, and it doesn't plug into a USB. It plugs directly into a regular outlet. But I've seen the thin ones that plug into a USB, and like I said, I've thought about it, but then I'm like, do I really want to bring a light box to a con? I mean, I could see doing it for Heroes Con since that's my hometown convention, but when I go to other conventions, I already drag enough stuff with me, so it's like, man, do I want to bring a light box? And the answer to that question is no. No, I don't. Look at all this anal retentive crap I'm doing that I'll be light boxing this thing anyhow. But I just can't help it. And have I mentioned First Man lately? Well, let me mention it again. My campaign for my comic book First Man is up and running, and the link is on the screen, so please go by, check it out. CB4 Public Enemy Steel. Do you do sequential art critiques at conventions? I do, yeah. Yep. If people want to bring me up their stuff to look at a convention, I'll be glad to look at it. Power Comic Con in Florence, right? Is that what you're talking about, Chris? Good old Power Comic Con. Yeah, I remember that show. That's a fun show. Is he doing it in the spring this year, do you know? Does he have plans to, I should say? I haven't seen anything advertised. Yeah, I have no idea. Who knows what's going on at conventions this year? Do you come to any conventions in Florida? Yeah. Tampa. I go to Tampa. I've been to Orlando, and I think that's it. And recently, I mean, I've been to Miami before, but long time ago. If you know a convention promoter and you want to see me at a show, just tell that promoter, hey, you need to bring Andy Smith down. Gotta do his big collar. Martian Manhunter's got this big collar. What part of Florida are you talking about? Pensacola and Tallahassee. I have not been there before, so that's a part of Florida I'd like to go to. So that'd be cool. And then Chris asked me, did I grow up in Florida? I did not, but I lived in Florida in the early 90s. I lived in Orlando. Then in the late 90s into the 2000s, I lived in Tampa. And then we moved up to North Carolina, where we currently are. And I still have family down in the Tampa area. Oh, Melbourne's nice. Wait, what part of North Carolina are you in? Oh, Mooresville. Cool. Forgive me if you told me that and I forgot, but all right, let's do this stupid little X. He's the Martian Manhunter. He's from Mars. He doesn't even know how to drive a car. The Martian Manhunter, that's his name. Do. He's got Oreo cookies on the brain. Let's see. CB4 Public Enemy Steel. Who are some of your top 5 artists? Joe Kubert, Neil Adams, Michael Golden, Doug Mackey, love Doug stuff, and my buddy Bart. No particular order. I don't want anybody going, whoa, how did you get me back in 5th place? What am I drawing on? Rinkabot. Gus says, sorry, but the Martian Manhunter theme has to be country. Oh, wait, let's see. Yours are Dave Finch, Bart Sears, Ivan Rice, Alan Davis, Dale Keown. I mean, those are all great. I really like Finch's work. Ivan Rice is awesome. Keown's awesome. I mean, it's hard to limit it to 5. I got a Cintiq, baby. Rankabot. I'm drawing on an old Cintiq. It's the 24, I believe. Now I don't remember, so I'm actually going to measure it. Nope, 27. It's a 27-inch Cintiq is what I'm drawing on. Should probably save this too. Oop. Remember to save your work. I've had this crash and it sucks. Dude, it's awesome. I love this thing. I've had it. I originally had the 13-inch that I bought back in like 2009, and that thing worked great. I never would have got rid of it, but back in 2017, it started kind of messing up. And, I mean, it worked fine, but like if I moved the cord the wrong way on the 13-inch, one I had that was like 9 years old at the time, the screen would kind of go black. So I upgraded to this bad boy so I didn't have to have it sit on my lap, and now it's just in front of my monitor. I got an iPad. I have an iPad Pro as well, actually. So when I'm in the house and I don't feel like coming up to my office, and if I got some drawing or sketching to do, I can do it from in the house. I like working on that as well. And for coloring and Photoshop and stuff, working on this thing is great, the Cintiq. So, and in the program I'm using is Sketchbook Pro, which is also an app that I use on the iPad, so I can go back and forth pretty easy. Well, guys, this baby is about at the stage where I would print it off and trace it off, which means, oh, wasn't happy with that dude with Manhunter's quad. For some reason I thought he had wristbands, but nope. Blow that out of there. Let's take a look. See, these are both. I did the old what's her face, Emma Frost, a few days ago, or on another live stream. So let's kill this layer and take a look. There she blows. Next step is I'll print these out separately on 8.5 by 11 paper and trace them off to the sketch covers and ink them up. So that is that. I'm going to switch back over to where you can see my pretty face. Look at my glove. Look at that. Nifty, huh? I actually bought this. I had a cheap glove that I cut these fingers off, but because it was a real glove, it got too warm. So I actually bought this. And I used to see people use this thing when they were working on a Cintiq, and I'd be like, seriously, you need that? And then once I cut a glove and tried it, I was like, oh, my hand glides nicely across. And here, I'll show you guys the setup with the Cintiq. Let me just move this around some. See? That's my Cintiq. That's my screen. A screen within a screen within a screen. Anyhow, that's the Cintiq, Chris, so you can get a better sense of it. That's my hand compared to the Cintiq. Wait, squish, squish, squish. So there, you got to see the Cintiq in all its lovely glory. But that's it. This drawing is pretty much a wrap. Like I said, I'll take it into Photoshop and cut the covers so I can print one per page and trace them off, and that's that. Slap some ink. So there you have it. Thanks again for joining me. I'm going to do my quick change back to my Clark Kent glasses. Hey, I'm Andy Smith. Whoa, where'd Andy go? There he is. Whoa, who's that mild-mannered cartoonist guy? That's me. Over here you can see, this is a brand new webcam that I got for Christmas, and it is super wide lens. Like my old webcam set up at the same part, the frame was like this. Now you can see almost the whole back wall of my office. You can see my comic book collection there with some framed art of mine, some of my favorite pieces. They're all like 20 years old, and the only reason I don't switch them out is because I'm too lazy to pop things in and out of frames. And on this side, you can see my John Byrne Alpha Flight poster that came out when I was a wee lad, and I actually had hanging up in my bedroom. Not that one. That one I had to repurchase because the one that was in my bedroom got trashed when I was a kid. So I rebought it off eBay. Those right there on that shelf, those are little mini bottles of alcohol. It is a testament that every day I don't crack one of those suckers open and down it, because those are still full. Now, the real reason I don't drink those is back when I turned, I think when I turned 16, my dad put in my stocking and in my brother's stocking at Christmas a little travel bottle size of alcohol. And my brother would crack his open and drink it at some point, and I saved it. So that wall is the little mini bottles of alcohol from the time I was either 16 or 17 at Christmas up into 2014 Christmas. My dad passed away in 2015. And I asked my mom, I didn't know if she was doing it or not, but I asked her not to continue doing that because that was something special between my dad and I. So I have all the bottles of alcohol that my dad gave me since I was 16 or 17 up to 2014. Yeah, man, this dude knows what's up. Love the John Byrne Alpha Flight poster. So funny story. Like I said, that was on eBay. I was searching it, and this dude, it's been over a decade since I've had it. And this guy, was selling it, and he wanted $100 or something like that. And I just wasn't willing to pay $100 for a poster. But that auction ended and it didn't sell. So I sent him a private message saying, hey, I noticed it didn't sell. Would you trade for it or would you take less? And I told him in trade, if he was interested in original artwork, I explained to him who I was and what I did for a living. And he got back to me. He was like, oh man, I loved your run on Quasar. Would you do me a drawing on Quasar? If you do me a drawing on Quasar, I'll trade you that for the poster. So I said, sure. So I did him like an 11 by 14 black and white drawing of Quasar. Like he says, like 14 years ago. And traded. So that's how I got the poster. And it's hard to tell, but that 2-page spread right there is a recreation of the 2-page spread from Alpha Flight number 12, where Alpha Flight pops into that room where Vindicator is fighting that other team. I can't remember the team's name, but it's the issue where Guardian, Vindicator, whatever, dies. And I love that spread so much that I actually took the time to not just trace it off in ink like my style, but I tried to do it line for line the way John inked it himself. And so actually people come over and they see it and they're like, oh my God, you own that original? And I'm like, no, that is me doing a recreation. I just wish I owned the original. But thanks, because I guess I did a good enough job recreating it. So, But next to it, right there, hold on, get my finger the right way. Omega Flight, there you go. That, obviously it's hard to see, that's an 8.5 by 11 or 9 by 12 drawing of Vindicator flying that I commissioned John Byrne to do. So I have a few pieces of John Byrne art, but that one is the one private commission that I got from him of my favorite Alpha Flight guy, and he's flying. So that's pretty cool. But hey, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much I appreciate it. I'm going to, of course, plug my Kickstarter, my Indiegogo project one more time. It is up in that corner. I'm doing all this backwards. It's right there. But also,
First Man, you know the drill. A college kid is imbued with great power and likes it. Penumbra has other plans and hand delivers him to Monarch, a fun 64-page action-packed comic book harkening back to the glory days of Marvel Comics, only on Indiegogo.
There you go. If you haven't backed First Man yet, I would love it if you did. Just go to Indiegogo, give it a look. It's a 64-page, perfect bound, which means it's not stapled, graphic novel. First Man's my character. I created him, and a buddy of mine is helping me do some of the scripting, the dialogue stuff for it. I would love it if you backed it, because that's what I'd like to really continue my focus on drawing-wise now is First Man. So thank you again for joining me. I hope it was kind of educational, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.